Hello and welcome back to Game Vitamins. My name is Nick, and in today's video we are going to be going into episode 2 of opening an LGS. Yes, if you haven't seen my first video, go take a look at that as well, but if you're coming back for episode 2, you can tell not a lot has necessarily changed, and that is because what we've been working on most recently is, one, obviously, repainting the whole space and sort of doing prep work, but two, and most importantly, sort of the main topic of this video is the design, the layout, the renderings, ensuring that everything in this space is super intentional and exactly what I foresee in the vision for what I believe will be one of the coolest LGSs in the USA. Yes, I know. Okay, click off if you really think I'm crazy. But what we're going to do today is go through the whole space again. You'll notice it's not much has changed. Again, we haven't brought stuff in yet, but I will record my screen on my phone and bring you through the renderings and layout that I have gone through with the designer to best utilize the space. And these are certainly not finalized. These are sort of initial renderings, and it gives you an idea of the layout. It's all to scale, so it helps us make sure that this space is going to be absolutely maximized, considering it's not massive. You know, we want it to feel very gallery-esque and show off the products, really feel homey at the same time and have enough seating, and combining all of that makes it a little bit tough. So without further ado, we are going to go through each part of the space, and again, I'll probably try to stand off to the side a little bit and either show my phone screen recording over here as I'm talking about certain spaces, also just so I have my own reference, and we'll also take a look at what spaces will be utilized for and some of the inspirational pictures that we're basing everything off of. So there's going to be a lot to cover here, but it's just going to be a broad overview, again, mainly focused on design and layout. And again, if you have any ideas, any thoughts, it was all super helpful from the first video, and I just love hearing what the community has to say. This is going to be awesome. So let's dive right into it. Let's start at the entryway. So I'm going to flip this around a little bit. I'll zoom in on my screen. You can see that currently this behemoth of a reception desk is still here. And I'm going to be working on getting rid of it because looking at the space, it eats up a very large chunk. Over here, you can tell there's a lot of dead floor space given up to this. And I had talked about this potentially being like a kiosk station, or a lot of you guys had mentioned the idea of having it be the checkout counter to ensure that nobody is stealing, that you have eyes coming in and out the door. But what we're looking to do is redesign this entryway based off of the floor plan I have here, and utilize some play space over here just because of how much space this truly does take up. It really didn't dawn on me until she put everything to scale. Like if I sort of scroll across, you can see the size comparison of everything in there relative to this huge reception table. So what we will do though is over here along the windows, sorry, this is going to be a little bit of juggling because I've got like the phone in one hand and trying to hold everything. But over here, I was originally talking about some high tops, some tables for people to come in, sit down, maybe just play one-on-ones or just play some board games, whatever it might be. But I think we're going to put sort of a minimal styled checkout counter over here, so that pays homage to all of your guys' idea of having someone here on the way in and out. And then it sort of separates the buying space from the card space, where people will be able to service the customers and ensure that, you know, if a order is getting pulled or if you want a product brought out, that someone is there behind the counter back here to get that sorted out for you. So again, looking at the screen, I'm going to probably pop it on and off as we go here. I really won't know how this looks until I throw it in post, But over here, where I am sort of focusing my vision, that will be the checkout counter. Again, we're reworking the floor plan, and this back here will be some play space. So as we walk further back, you can see that we have a pillar identified by one of these little squares, and a lot of dead space. A lot of space here that just sort of goes to nothing, because if you've watched the first one, you know I wanted play space to be over here on the along the mural wall, and then over here be more of the shopping space. So one really cool idea, I'm actually going to put this back up just for a minute because it's sort of in my, so it'll be right back here, is I'll zoom in. I need to remember where this is going to be, but see this table? So this table, display case, I'll put up a few of the inspiration pictures that Emily used when sort of pitching this idea to me, but what it is going to be is essentially a display, a shadow box of playing card games, of playing games, and you'll have a top-down look at what is essentially a game stuck in time, a moment maybe right before a game ender where people could look at the hands of certain cards, or look at the cards in certain hands and figure it out for themselves, really interact with the display, almost museum-esque. Again, I'm going to have some photos up on the screen so you can get an idea of what I mean for a display. So there'll be some products down below it, but up top, everything will be encased in glass, plexiglass, to showcase what this store is all about. Games stuck in time, all stuff that is buyable in the store, and it's going to be super cool. I really liked that idea, the whole shadow box and letting people sort of interact with it in their own way, look down, take a look at different like land cards and maybe really good game enders that are out on the board, and really, you know, just encapsulate what it means to be playing the game as well. So I really love that idea. That would go right here, sort of an area to flow around it, and then let's move through the space a bit more. So I'm going to scroll up. You can see that, again, so I know where to put it up on the screen, that she sort of laid out the colors and flow of the space as you walk through it. So we would see the display table, and then around the brick pillar behind me, there would be a custom shelving unit built around the front and sides and go down some of the length here to break up the space a little bit more between play and shopping. And this will be a sort of tiered station where I might put some like half rolled out play mats and different accessories, and maybe some, if for any D&D fans, maybe some books on display. I'll scroll over to the picture on my phone so you get an idea of what that will look like. So you can see that it's sort of this is not the final idea, this is not her sketch on it, but this is going to be a rough idea of sort of this tiered display of different products, accessories, and just really making it feel that everything is intentionally showed off, so it's not so cluttered. I hate clutter. I really want this store to be a little more minimal, and then we help you get whatever it is that you're looking for. So this is probably the most confusing piece. We were going back and forth on this a lot. She's going to be sketching it all up, then we're working with a builder to put it together so it's custom for the space, and it's tough to make sure that it's going to be utilized in the best way possible. So more to come on that. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So the paneling on the walls. I'm really just rapid firing this because I could probably talk forever, but I don't want to just aimlessly blab at you about about one little, display case. So here is a rendering. Maybe I'll clip this out. Again, put it up on my phone so you get a rough idea, but I'll throw it on the screen. We're going to utilize the paneling that's already here, but then also do a custom full-length display with slightly angled, you can kind of tell from, I think I stopped my recording, 1 second. Okay, so you can kind of tell from what I'm showing on my screen now that it's to display, say, board games or anything that's a little bit more vertical, tall, books, again, any D&D fans. If you have, like, say, a monster manual or a player's handbook, you have one on display, sort of like a bookstore where you can flip through it, take a look, and then if you want it, it would be stored down below in the bottom part of the shelving unit. So this is going to be a really cool hub of products. I'm going to place this down. The tripod's making my arm pretty tired. So over here, we'll have the singles on both of these panels. And these are going to be essentially the whole top half right here will all be singles on display where we can take them out, show them to you. The TV, I think I went over this in my last video. This looks very crooked. Let's see if we can fix that. Maybe a little better. But the TV will be focusing on anything that we are promoting in the store. So let's say we want to do a Universes Beyond Day and focus on Lord of the Rings. Maybe we play some Lord of the Rings movies, or if we're doing anything along the lines of pretty much anything that can be showcased on this wall, the TV will reflect what it is that we're hyping up, what it is that we're talking about, and I think that's going to be really cool because right here will be a hovering display case for upcoming releases, or well, not upcoming, but like recent releases and featured products that we will be explaining up above. So whether that be custom products, whether that be Final Fantasy, whatever it might be, we'll throw it up there. So this wall in space is going to be very cool once it's completed. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the space. I just like the ability to truly refurbish what they did here and really make it a display, especially with the big singles storage on both sides. So now let's move on to the mural wall. Yes, this bad boy back here, that's all painted over now. Unfortunately, that art is gone to history. So that made me realize what I'm going to be putting back here, this super unique and custom mural that will span the whole wall, focusing on Magic the Gathering. I do not want that lost to time. Say we ever need a bigger space, say anything ever changes. We are going to recreate paneling, have it do the same, like sort of bump out from the wall to create a little bit of a depth effect, line it with some backlighting, and then have those panels go across the whole entire wall, and the muralist who's going to be coming in and painting it all by hand is going to then just do it on the floating panels so it can be moved, separated out if necessary, and it will never get painted over like I unfortunately had to do here with the last mural. So that is also huge to me. There's not really anything I can show on the screen other than point at these panels and say it's going to be the same type of thing, but then just primed and ready to be painted all along that wall. So really looking forward to this piece. It is truly the, how do you say that? The like piece de résistance or something like that? I don't know. Comment down below if you know what that, how you even say that. But what I'll do, I'll pull up the phone again. I'll set you down here again. Oh, now we're off kilter. So, seating along this wall, seating in the store. This was a topic for debate in the last video. But I really do appreciate everyone's input. It was super helpful. This is annoying me. It was very helpful, and I'm glad that people were engaging with it. It was probably the most talked about comment in general. So clearly people were passionate about the seating situation. So no, I am not going to go with like horizontal booths lining it, the restaurant vibe, but what I am thinking about doing is a bit of a hybrid. So I'm zooming in on the seating the way that Emily had mocked it up for me. And before you start running into the comments, the idea is to set up bench-like seating along the back with sort of the low back similar to a general, like a chair. And one sec, let me really let you see it all. So I'll bring this chair over. And yes, this will partially block the lower portion of the mural. But what it'll be is one bench that runs along the back with sort of a lower back to it, replaceable and changeable cushions for any of that gamer funk that people were talking about. And then we will throw chairs lining, facing the wall, and set it up as tables of 2 so it can slide to be either, say, one-on-ones, any groups of 4. Again, we're focusing on Magic here, but I also want it to be a general comfortable space for people to play games with friends or just hang out. So I want there to be the flexibility of the space where we're not locked into tables of 4. One person sits down, wants to hang out for a little while, and then everyone's like, hey, can you move? We want to play. In that case, we're able to then just slide the tables to best fit the situation. And then similarly on game nights, if we're bringing a lot of people in, the display table that I previously talked about would be on casters, so it could then be moved, and then something like a random, folding table could be brought in to accommodate more people. So it's all about utilizing the space as best as we can with the amount of space that we have. So it's never going to be perfect, but this is what Emily and now I am starting to see as being a nice alternative to the whole bench or like 4-person table setup. Because the downside is if you had 4-person tables next to each other, needing to allow the space for people to back up and get out makes it so you could really only have 2 tables along that whole wall. Otherwise, they'd start floating into the space, and it messes with the flow of being able to walk through and shop. So we're working with what we have here. Feel free to let me know what you think down below. If you don't like it, sorry. I think this is what I'm going to go with just to maximize seating. Again, my recording stops whenever my phone locks, so I'll just throw up one more screenshot. You can kind of see that she had it set up where maybe a group of 4 would be playing on one side. You could have even up to like 6 on the other, or you could move a table in and have 2 4s and then a singular one. You could even maybe keep some extra chairs out back just so people could utilize it the way that they want to. And that's also why it'll be big to have this space set up as more seating to ensure that there's always places to play. And we're going to try to make this part a little cozier, maybe like throw down a rug and make them like nicer, big, full tables, whereas this will be more of that kind of restaurant booth table vibe. I'll show some photos. It clearly won't look like this because this looks like a restaurant and is not optimized for setting up for games. But, one other thing. This photo right here, actually, I'll throw it up, gives you the best idea of what the benches will look like. And then similar to, say, like a bowling alley, the bottom part, a lot of you brought this up, and I appreciate it. Coats, backpacks, gamer gear. We are going to hollow out the bottom of the rear, or of the bench along the wall, so you can put your stuff down under your feet, right there with you. Put some coat hooks on each side, and make it so it's a space you can really just kind of take over and get comfortable with while not just having stuff all over the floor. So that is the seating. Plus, maybe when you're playing, you're looking at the mural and it'll look super cool and you can notice all the little details. Really excited to see how that works out. What we're going to do now is I am going to bring up the rendering of the whole entire space. And it really allows you to visualize where everything is going to go, and again, the flow of the space. When you're just looking at it on a two-dimensional plane, it really makes it difficult to know what it would feel like when everything is in place. But I think that overall, this is promising. We're going to be, as I said, changing the entryway and utilizing it much better, but it gives you an idea of, how much space the seating will really take up, and how much do some of these displays encroach on that, and how does like the shopping area, how do all of those casings encroach on each other and whatnot. So we're going to be dialing it in and getting custom sketches for all the pieces that are going in here to ensure that it is truly, top notch. So that was the rendering. Hopefully it gave you a little bit of an idea of what we're working with, still in, kind of working through it. So just checking my phone here, make sure the audio is still recording. Now, one more thing that you might have noticed in that rendering is the counter. So let's just talk about that. That'll be the last thing for today, because honestly, like the back rooms, the bathroom, none of that stuff has changed. So I wanted a kiosk space. I mentioned that I wanted people to be able to sit down, spend some time, build a deck, see what we have, the whole thing. Now, again, that entryway, that would have eaten up a lot of space for a couple kiosks, which would then eliminate potentially 8 seats for people to sit and play at. So what the idea was is to extend out this half of the counter and make it like a bar. So bring this out, set up 2 chairs, and set up the kiosks here so people can sit down, get comfortable, go through our inventory, ask questions to whoever's behind the counter, Pops, that's you, and ensure that whatever they need, we're taken care of. So essentially at this breaking point is where we will have the kiosks, and then depending how much space they take up, we'll either do what I have written down here, like a trade-in station right here, where people can come up, get their cards scanned and priced out, trade it in, store credit, cash, whatever, or that'll be on this side, and then again, just sort of a space to be able to go up and chat with Pops. You haven't met Pops, if you're watching this, tell everyone hello, and get whatever you need. So behind, still the same plan, gonna have all the different booster boxes and packs lining the walls. Have a lot of built-ins, so commander decks, boxes, whatever you're looking to buy, accessories. We'll keep most things back here because again, I want the front of the store to really be simple and not cluttered with stuff. And if you want it, you just come up to the counter and say, "Sir, can I order a Karlov Manor Commander deck?" Yep, coming right up. And then we'll serve it up here and you're good to go. So that's how this is all going to be utilized. Maybe get some Celsius. What drinks do people like? Non-alcoholic. What do people like? Got a little fridge, so fill that up too. So that is how this is all going to be set up. Again, play space and then shopping space over here. So I hope that sheds some light on what we're working with and what the plan, what the vision is. Super excited to move forward. Again, you can tell it doesn't really look any different. I mean, like the hallways are getting painted. I'm doing a lot of this stuff too myself, so it slows it down a bit, especially because I'm just here in the evenings after normal work and doing all this other stuff. But really, we needed to just lay the groundwork for other people to be able to come in and start doing what they do best, which is do the actual building and the painting of the mural and getting Emily in here to help with the design and the flow and the layout. Because once we have the plan, it'll be a lot easier to just execute on the plan. But it takes a lot of manpower in terms of brain power to make sure that the space is not just going to be thrown together in a totally random manner. I could have bought tables and thrown them all in here and it would have been done by now, but I'm not That's not the style. That's not what we're going for here. We're going for the best game store. So yeah, that is it for now. I will call it there. I left my phone on the table. This mic sometimes gets finicky. I'm going to make sure I'm still recording my audio. Okay, we're good. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, things to yell about, or just recommend and be polite and forward about some good ideas, throw them in the comments down below. I always appreciate hearing from all of you. I hope you're as excited as I am. Can't wait to get this up off the ground. I've already doxed the location in the previous video, so if you've made it this far, Portland, Maine, downtown, it's going to be cool. It's going to be unlike anything the city has ever seen, and it's going to be an awesome base for the community to come and play games and be themselves. So everyone, have a great day. Good talking to you as always, and we will catch you in the next one.